I was talking about Priti Patel and her condemnation of a group as being selfish, and I thought this was it was just the wrong person to be talking about selfishness. It just wasn't credible. However, I hope I made it very clear that I thought Insulate Britain's activities in going on to the M25 in 3 different places and then painting the road blue, well, I mean, that's probably a positive thing, but gluing themselves to the road so that they actually stop traffic for over 6 hours. That's not good. The M25 is one of our main arteries. You know, people expect to be able to get around. And Richard Madeley on breakfast television on Good Morning Britain was interested that there could be people who seriously need to use that stretch of road, people who are in danger of serious health problems, who need to get from one place to another fast and assume that the road is passable. And the road is not, because of some people who have got a very limited imagination about how to attract attention. There's so many ways to attract attention. This is not one of them. If you want to get the people on board, you don't alienate the people by making their lives difficult. And we see this across the world with protesters. I'm a great fan of a well-focused protest, but in the age of the internet, in the age of social media, there are other ways to do it. These people, gluing themselves to the road on the M25, are taking a prehistoric approach to something actually that needs to be rethought in 2020 terms. So a couple of days ago on LBC radio, somebody rang in, and his name was Chris, and he explained how his mother had been with him. He was taking his mother speedily to hospital because he thought she was having a stroke. She did have a stroke, and because of the 6-hour time period that they were waiting on the M25, unable to move, she is now paralysed down one side. I just find this story heartrending and shocking. And then this morning we saw Liam Norton pontificating. He's the spokesperson for Insulate Britain, which in turn is an offshoot of Extinction Rebellion. Liam Norton pontificating about what actually are very good issues. He's got a very valid cause, but he's the wrong person to do it. And he has been soiled now. He was right to leave the television studio. He should have left earlier. I think there's a lot of problems with our media at the moment, and there's a lot of problems with the fact that our society has stopped listening, completely stopped listening, and it's using bureaucracy, and it's using a particular tone of authority, which basically means whatever you say will be processed by a complaints department and we're not going to pay any attention to it. It's wrong. It disenfranchises huge numbers of people. I'm not surprised people are angry. And the people who are using these tricks, these wicked tricks, to ignore and ride roughshod over the opinions of those many, many hundreds, thousands, millions who voted them into office. These people need to hang their heads in shame, because they cannot retain power simply by cocooning themselves with bureaucracy. It will happen for a while, but in the end they will suffocate as much as we are suffocating. Bureaucracy is bad. Let's make this very, very, very clear. Bureaucracy in all its forms is bad. Bureaucracy has one place, and that is to support the workings of government or the workings of a large company. It is a support vehicle. The moment it takes over, it has become bad. And we know it's a bad thing because it's a bastard word. There are plenty of good words in the English language. Now, paper, backlog is a good word. Backlog is a good word. Backlog is literally the log that you put at the back of your fire, which you keep warm, and then you revitalise each morning when you take the curfew off your fire, which is a wooden box, and the fire comes back to life with a bit of kindling. But bureaucracy, it's a modern hybrid word, and it comes from two different languages. We don't like words which come from different languages. Bureau is French, kratos is the Greek word for rule. Bureaucracy, rule by a desk, rule by a piece of wood, rule by a plank. Nobody wants to be ruled by a plank, and nobody should be. The only thing you put into a plank is a nail. So, can I please encourage you to check bureaucracy and stand up to bureaucracy? We would do more good at the moment by standing up to bureaucracy, because believe me, there is so much bureaucracy, no one is listening to you. No matter whether you glue yourself on the road or on the ceiling, no one is going to listen. You will be processed. You have to find better ways to protest. And in the meantime, I'm ashamed that an organisation should put people's lives at risk, and now demonstrably has put people's lives at risk. And I'm ashamed that Liam Norton should try and defend himself and then look as if he's self-righteously walking off in a huff. Shame. Anyway, look, do by all means follow my channel, ring the bell, have fun.